This week's Tarot of the Week is the Tarot for Kids, written by Teresa Reed and illustrated by Kaylee Whitman. This deck is cute. In this deck, I don't know, it has a cute little tuck box. It reminds me of spring. I think just because the colors are very pastel and, you know, just gives me that vibe. So we're just going to flip through. We're going to flip through the deck a little bit. This is a very cute deck. I bought this for my daughter. This is what I'll say about the deck, though. I have some things to say. If I was a deck trimmer, I would probably trim this deck, only because I just have a thing against, modifying decks. It's a personal thing. I just, I don't know. I just feel like buying money for a deck and then modifying the deck. I don't like that. I don't like that. But, you know, it's got very cute illustrations. The thing I don't like about it is it's a tarot for kids, but it's so big. And I've seen a few tarot for kids decks that are this size, and I don't know if they're thinking it's easier for kids to have a bigger deck. I don't know that that's true. Like, I have a child, and this just seems like it would be harder for her. You know, like the perfect size deck to me for a child is, I have the Dream Visions Starseed edition. The size of that deck is like perfect for a kid because they have tiny hands. Like, they can't handle a big deck. What about a kid's tiny hands makes you think they can handle a deck this big? That's just my beef. And again, this is a deck that I bought before I kind of knew what I preferred out of a deck. So I wasn't necessarily thinking of these things, but, you know, it's like trial and error. I like the deck. I don't regret the purchase. I'll probably use this deck more than my daughter will use this deck. I think this is a good deck for inner child work. And I just, like I said, it gives me springtime vibes. So I'll probably always pull this deck out in the spring. And probably I'm going to be doing a lot of like shadow work on this channel. And soul alignment work, and, you know, maybe I'll find use for it. For things like that. I think probably just like my own personal inner child work, I'll pull this deck out for. But I can't really see my daughter ever getting into using this deck. I'm trying to make sure that I have the cards in the screen for you guys to view. But it's a beautiful deck. I love the artwork. There's diversity, as you can see. You know, the Three of Coins is a beautiful card. This is the artwork that's on the cover. But yeah, I would love to see, and I haven't seen it yet, but I would love to see a deck. I'm sure it does exist. A deck created for children that's like a mini deck that's not mini. Like the Dream Visions Tarot deck is perfect. A deck that I'm about to order is the Way of the Panda. And I think I'm going to get a small sized version for my daughter. I heard that small sized version was like a bigger one. It was a bigger version. I think it'll be the size that'll be good for little hands. So that'll probably be like a better kid deck for her than this one. So I was a little disappointed in this deck, not because I don't like the deck or the illustrations, because they're beautiful illustrations. But just because I bought this deck for my daughter and I wasn't well versed enough in tarot to understand that, yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe this deck was really, maybe kid decks, maybe these decks are kind of created with the intention of doing inner child work. But it's just labeled as like tarot for kids. Perhaps that's the thing. Perhaps they like figure that, well, adults are really going to be the ones using it. And they're not worried about little hands. They just figure adults are going to be using it for inner child work. That's got to be the case. Because I don't know how you create a whole deck and overlook something like that. Like, if I was creating a deck for children, I would probably have a child try it out. You know, hey, why don't you shuffle this deck? Hey, can you read this deck? You know, that's another thing too, is like, they modified certain things for, like, okay, this is the, instead of the High Priestess, you have the Moon Queen. Right? Instead of Temperance, you have Balance. And there's, you know, instead of the Lover's card, I might have gone through it already, but instead of the Lover's card, it's like Friendship or something like that. Okay, you guys, that is the Tarot for Kids. So I will be using this deck to do my card readings for the week. So that's exciting. And I do read from this deck every now and then, by the way. Sometimes it does call to me. I think this deck needs me to do some inner child work, maybe. So, I think this deck was for me, not for my daughter. I thought it was for her when I bought it, but I was wrong. I was wrong, dead wrong. I don't know why I feel the need to sing things sometimes. So that is it. I'm going to do one more video tonight, you guys. It's kind of late. I think it's like 11 o'clock. So you guys, of course, at the time that you're viewing this, it's probably not 11 o'clock. But you guys have a great day. And I hope you're enjoying the Spiritual Noob. The Spiritual Noob signing out.